Papers right here are my summoning to court for my lawsuit.
So I'm getting sued by a credit card company.
Y'all sued me for a credit card that you gave me 10 years ago, and you gave me a $10,000 credit limit at 21 years old.
Yeah, I ignored a debt collector and they sent it to a law firm to sue me.
Get ready with me to go and get sued.
All right, so we got to talk about it. People are getting sued for their credit cards on TikTok, and it is wild to see justice coming after them. I mean, many of these people thought they'd never get sued, and they're starting to get found out. Let's get into it. Let's see these videos.
Papers right here are my summoning to court for my lawsuit. Update on how I'm being sued. Okay, so I'm gonna say the credit card. I signed up for a credit card and it helped me at the time, but screwed me over now. So I'm gonna do like a whole story time on this, but basically at the time where I was moving out, I had to pay a lot of money in taxes because of my old job, which love that. The government took a lot of money from me because of unemployment, but was wrongfully taken. It's a long story. Basically, I had nothing but a credit card to my name as far as money, financially, and I also had to move out 3 days after. Basically, I signed up for the credit card so I could have, you know, food, a living, like items I could live off of. All the money that I had on that credit card that wasn't really mine because it's a credit card, I used to pay first month's rent and then the other thing you pay. So basically, I had no money. And I'm a person that hates to ask for help, which after moving out and losing everything money-wise, I've learned to grow into being okay with asking for help. So I was basically in a lot of debt at this point, and I was just like in between jobs, working 2 jobs at one point, and I am very irresponsible with money, so I was like, okay, I can always just pay the credit card whenever I get like a large sum of money. I only had like a limit of $400, so I was like, okay, $400, I can pay this whenever, you know, and I'll next week turn into next month, and then next year, and then now we're here where I'm being sued by. And whenever they would call, I would get so anxious because one, I hate phone calls, like they make me so uncomfortable. So whenever they would call, I'm like, oh God, they're here to get me, blah, 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 blah. Let me just not answer because that's like the best answer, which it's not. So if you're ever in this situation, just answer the phone. And I'm still, just answer the phone. They're just trying to get their money and they're not trying to like get to this point. Basically what happened was they went to my mom's house and gave her the letter because my address was there when I signed up for the card. And like this whole week I've been panicking because I'm like, well, I gotta go to court. I don't know how the hell to go about doing that at all. But yesterday I went to my mom's house and was trying to work things out. I called like 4 different places to try to like figure out how to do this because I've never been in this situation. And I was panicking, and then I finally just called the number. Luckily, I was able to do a settlement plan. I just kind of had to pay the money off, and they're gonna give me, I have up to 6 months to pay it off, which I'm not gonna let it get to that point. And me recording this video will hold me accountable. So it was a big, huge weight lifted off my shoulder. I don't have to end up going to court unless I don't pay it, which is so relieving. But yeah, so update on that. Thank you anyone that left nice comments and like, you know, supported me even just in real life. I really appreciate it. Cause I was going over that paper, the cost of a lawyer and everything. I'm just like, I'm already getting sued for more money that I don't have. How am I gonna pay for the suit? It didn't make sense. Definitely a lesson learned. Please make sure to pay off your credit cards on time and don't sign up for one and don't live outside of your means. Anyways, chef's kiss. How about Cheeto?
I could not stop from watching him put that makeup on. Seems like a nice guy, but he's in a pickle. He's in a real problematic problem with too much debt. It's come back to haunt him. A lot of these people are seeing this stuff coming back on them from when they were in college. And you know what? Now they've got some stuff, probably got some money. The debt collectors and the attorneys sat on it for a little while, waiting for somebody to purchase a house or have some money in the bank account to finally get a judgment against you and come after you. And that's what's going on.
Get ready with me to go and get sued. A couple weeks ago, I was sitting at my house when a lovely police officer came over and served me papers and let me know that I was being sued and had to make an appearance in court. I'm like, okay, this is a prank. I'm actually being sued. Come to find out, I am being sued for a credit card that I had when I was like 18 years old, 6 or 7 years ago. And these heifers are suing me all this time later, but Let me explain. So when I was a struggling college student, I was going to school probably 35 hours a week and then working on the days that I didn't have school. So I took out a credit card to help me pay for food and gas and things. And then life happened. I've had 2 kids since then. This credit card is literally in my maiden name. And I'm gonna be so for real with y'all. I forgot that this credit card even existed. I just completely forgot about it and stopped making payments on it. I am aware that this is 100% my fault, but hey, we've all been young and dumb before. Lordy Morty, I think even at 26 or almost 26, I'm still young and dumb. So if you are a struggling college student or struggling in general and you decide you want to borrow some money, this is your sign to always pay it back, because one way or another, those crazy little sneaky little brown nosers are gonna catch up to you. They're gonna expect you to pay up. Y'all say a little prayer for me and the rest of the courtroom, because something comes over me sometimes and makes me cry for no reason. So let's hope that I don't start bawling my eyes out in front of everybody. Wish me luck.
I mean, odds are the interest rate was astronomical on this credit card. Factor it over 5 or 10 years, a lot of money. A little money can turn into a lot of money very fast. And they know you probably have something by now. They can tell you've got a job. They look everybody up on social media. They look you up on the clerk of the court, the property appraiser, and then they know they can attach that thing to something now. I mean, judgments, garnishments. I mean, they can do so many things to you. It is worth paying your credit card off. And for most people, it's not worth having a credit card because you have the inclination to do these things, to maybe take out up the credit limit, to use it just a little more, to I'll make the minimum, to all of a sudden I'm not making payments. It's starting to snowball. It gets worse and worse and worse. And I see this in so many situations. If you have an issue with discipline, just have a debit card. Don't allow yourself to get a bigger rope, because one day it'll come back to get you.
Okay, so you sued me. I get it. I didn't pay it back. That was my fault. I fell on hard times, okay? I had a lot of shit I went through, okay? So I didn't pay him. Y'all sued me. I tried to work with the lawyer and say, hey, I can only afford $50 a month, okay? I can only afford $50 a month. Like, literally, I work 3 jobs. I do fucking DoorDash. I don't know. What else do you want from me? They said, no, 160. And I was like, well, no, I can't afford that. And then they said, oh, well, can you borrow money from someone? No, if I could borrow money from someone, I would, and I would give it to you. Trust me, I'm not trying to say I didn't do it, but I don't have the money. I don't have it. Okay, so y'all sued me, and I got a letter because the judge ruled in favor of them, obviously. But I got a letter, and the letter pretty much says, hey, so you gotta pay this, and there's gonna be interest on it until it's paid in full. So I don't have the money. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't have it. I do not have it. Y'all spent more money on a lawyer than to just write it off. I'm sorry, like, I f***ed up, but I don't have it. So what do you want me to do? Pull it out of my fucking butthole? I don't have it. So f*** you, this number. That was predatory. I was 21. You guys gave me $8,000 to start with, and then when you saw me hitting that limit, y'all said, let's raise it to 10 grand. Skyper, count your motherfucking days. Count your motherfucking days.
So what do you think about this situation? Comment down below. Is she right, wrong? I feel like she's got a bad personality to get, and I think $50 a month is not even trying. And when you stack on the amount of interest that they put on these things, I don't understand why more people don't get sued. There's so many people just making videos like this on TikTok that are clearly not remorseful for not paying the money back. And you took somebody's money, you got to pay it back. And they're just like, I'm not doing it. Well, they have 99 ways to get this money back. This is not a good situation. Have you ever been in this situation? Comment down below.
So I'm getting sued by a credit card company. It's an old credit card. I have trial this morning. And I was served my papers about 2 months ago, and I've done a lot of research as far as what I need to do, what I should say. And from what I was seeing in other videos, a lot of you guys actually are going through the same thing. So I tried to do my own research, got as ready as I think I could be, got all my papers and stuff this morning. We'll see how this turns out. I'm about to go in. My trial is I have the appointment for my trial at 11 a.m. So it's in less than an hour here. But if I end up coming out on top, I'll try to make another video if you guys are interested, just in regards to what I did, what I said, the route I took in order to fight this thing back. So wish me luck.
He seems like such a nice guy, and sometimes these things happen. You're young, you need some money, you're in college, you're down and out, and you got to use these cards. I get it. But I often wonder how the credit card companies actually come out ahead going after this money. I guess they have an attorney there with a stack of these, and they just serve them all at the same time. Bam, 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 and it's worth it, especially if it's $1,000 or less. I think a lot of times they're just searching for judgments on people to where one day you might own something and whammo, they got you. Do y'all have any experience? Like, comment down below. Small claims court, some of these small civil courts, like, you know, they can run through these pretty fast. I mean, I've seen them do it in small claims court. It's very interesting. There's $1.7 trillion in credit card debt outstanding in the United States. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And I often wonder what's going to happen with all that debt. Are they going to wind up writing it off? Or are they going to wind up getting judgments against people? Like, if everybody just stopped paying, or 30% of the country just stopped paying, which we're getting close to there. I think there's a lot of defaults going on. Like, at what point would the credit system break? And I'm seeing the Klarna and Uplift and Affirm and all these new ones coming out for DoorDash, vacations, flights. It's wild. It's just stacking up to the point where I think I forgot what company it was the other day. It like basically said $100 billion of it, people are just not paying. They're in the loss like 2 years in a row on third-party credit systems.
If you want to hear something really totally embarrassing for me, I was supposed to have a court date today. Yeah, I ignored a debt collector and they sent it to a law firm to sue me. And yeah, I got sued by a debt collector. And I thought the chances of that happening were like slim to none. Like, it was only $1,000. Do they really want to like have to go after me for $1,000? Like, what is that? No, they did. Yeah, they sent the constable to my house with the papers saying that I need to sort this out. Long story short, I settled for 80% of what I owe, and I paid it all off like 12 days ago. Thankfully, like normally I would not have been able to do this, but my husband got a raise at work and it's been great. And yeah, my court date was scheduled for today. Thankfully that was canceled, but that was like the scariest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I was like, I don't just pay. I'll just pay. I'm like, I don't want to have to go to court.
Got to be full of anxiety, but I'll tell you, not an attorney here, but I would cut a deal. When in doubt, cut a deal. And then when in doubt and you cut a deal, always counter the first offer, because you know what? They want to settle too. They'd rather have money now than maybe a little money later, and they got to pay all those court costs. And if you do go to trial, the way I understand it is they can sue you for the court costs, and I mean, you wind up having to pay all those court costs, and that can be really expensive. So you usually want to settle. You want to call them up. You want to, you know, throw it out there. Hey, how much is it going to cost me to just get this off the desk right now? Usually they'll take it.
How long will it take your creditors to sue you and get a judgment against you after you've stopped paying your debts? Well, that is a question that is completely unique to the creditor themselves, and there's no easy answer to that. I can tell you that in Ohio, where I live, the first creditors that are going to sue you are going to be medical providers, but that's not the case in all areas. Credit card companies not paying your car, how long will it take them to repossess, depends on whether or not you finance through Chrysler Financial or you finance through a buy here, pay here place on the corner. And, you know, there's no real rhyme or reason to how fast Chase credit card company will sue you, but there are problems out there that can just show up when you least expect them, but they're inevitable. So you need to start thinking now about what you can do about those, because the worst thing is to come to an old lawyer after you've already started a garnishment and you can't pay for bankruptcy.
That's true. Isn't it wild how medical debt can ruin you? I mean, like, one of the number one reasons for people to file bankruptcy is medical debt. I mean, getting a discharge. Just think, you go to the doctor and you weren't expecting it to be $100,000. I mean, for my dad, it was almost $1 million. And, you know, thank goodness for insurance. And, you know, if you don't have insurance, take your kid to the hospital in the middle of the night and you've got that over your head, like, oh my gosh, is this going to ruin us? You know, an EKG's $3,000. I had that happen to us. And then there you are. What do? You know, like, have you ever had medical debt come after you? Comment down below. I don't know if it's dischargeable in bankruptcy anymore. If you're in expert at that, let us know. It's a very interesting subject, but do not get to the point where you're behind the curve with answering the summons and contacting an attorney. You better be Johnny on the spot with an attorney unless you're really savvy. And I do not recommend going up against an attorney by yourself. Those guys are really good. The reason why they're attorneys.
Discover does not play when it comes to the money that is owed to them. So Discover kind of just skips the whole collection agency process in general and just goes directly through the courts. And if they're going through the courts, there's going to be a lot of additional fees such as court fees, attorney fees, and all these other interest fees that you're going to get on top of the debt. So my suggestion is to always work it out with them. A lot of times people can negotiate those debts for even 50% or less. I have personally seen people negotiate their Discover debts to a significantly lower amount. So it's very important that you get on top of it, because if you don't, they will definitely come for you. So if you have a debt with Discover and you've been delinquent with that debt, I highly suggest contact.
This is especially true if it's interest, okay? The principal itself, like the amount of money you owed is one thing, but the interest, sometimes they seem like they'll write it off. Try to cut them a deal, work your magic, and maybe you can cut it down a little bit. But the principal itself, I don't think you're cutting that down.
I decided to file for bankruptcy first, and then I stopped making credit card payments. So basically what happened is that I hired a bankruptcy lawyer, and I got financial advising, basically, that they were like, your best option is bankruptcy. And I was like, word, let's do it. Hired a lawyer. And then I had to stop making payments for 6 months before I could actually file, because you can't have like preferential payments on your record. Like, you can't pay off some creditors more than others. Because I had like a number of different creditors, like had a loan and everything, I had to stop paying off everyone all together at the same time so that it was all like equal, which was great because I was literally hemorrhaging money on payments that were making absolutely zero dent in my debt. So that was awesome. Yeah, but I decided first. I'm always down to talk about my bankruptcy, by the way. I love talking about it. It's like the best thing that I've ever done. And it has taught me so much about money and life and just like myself and everything. Like, it was the most valuable experience I've literally ever gone through.
I feel like she was gaming the system the entire time I was listening to her. She knew from the get she was not going to make any payments at all on this debt, not even try. She's going to run straight to bankruptcy court. And knowing that these judges, the judge and the attorneys, are going to comb through your bank statements, and they're going to see, like, are you wasting the money away? Are you wasting assets? Are you trying to dodge the system? Are you lying to the court? Have you told us all about all your assets? And I feel like maybe this video comes back to haunt her because she knew better and she did it anyways.
I got sued by American Express for a credit card that I never paid back. What should I do? I mean, pay it. If you got sued for a debt that you actually recognize and accumulated, the best option is to not just ignore it, it's to pay it. You can reach out to the law firm or American Express and come to a payment plan with them in order to settle and satisfy the debt. Otherwise, if you ignore it, then you could potentially have it lead to a judgment, or even worse, a garnishment, where they're pulling the money out of your paycheck directly, and you don't have a choice in that matter anymore. So I recommend, again, if you happen to get sued on an account that you recognize, make sure to respond. You typically have 20 days to respond to a summons. The other thing to keep in mind is you need to make sure that if you are getting sued, they need to serve you the papers in person, not just drop it off at your doorstep. Because who's to say that you actually did or didn't receive the summons if it was just left on your doorstep and you weren't actually receiving it in person? So reach out to American Express or the law firm, come to a settlement. A lot of people, unfortunately, try to avoid these scenarios, and it typically plays out not in their favor. I'd rather you be on the safe side and protect yourself from a potential garnishment down the line.
You don't want this stuff on your conscience. You don't want this coming up behind you at any moment, because it will. They'll wait until right when you purchase that house, or right when you got to move, or right when you're going to get a divorce, or right when you... They have their way. If you owe money, pay it back. If you don't have the discipline for a credit card, please cut it up, because it will come back to get you. Nothing is free in this world. Just using a debit card and paying cash is fine. Always have an emergency fund and a savings account. Check into high yield savings accounts. Make sure you're doing things the right way, and you can have wealth. You got to work your tail off. You got to save, and you can do things. You got to live within your means, and you save up, start buying assets, and start accumulating real estate. But that's all I got, everybody. I thought this was a very interesting subject. Comment down below with your thoughts, your criticisms, whatever you got to say about these people, for these people, or to help these people. Might be some young person out there needing some guidance. And also, I happen to be a real estate agent here on the Gulf Coast of Florida and Alabama. I'd be happy to help you buy or sell. My email is down below. And if you're looking for a real estate agent anywhere in the country, I'd be happy to find one for you. Let me do the hard work. See you guys on the next video.